Wassup Agents, Epic Slayers here, and welcome to a very important video. The Division's biggest free update since launch will shortly be released, Update 1.8, which includes a raft of new content including a new PVE Horde mode named Resistance, new 4v4 PVP arena named Skirmish, a complete overhaul of the Underground PVE mode, Underground 2.0, and much more. There is no time like the present for returning players to enter the fray once more, or new agents to pick up the game for the first time, and in this video I'm going to convince you why. The Division is set in New York City in the aftermath of a smallpox pandemic, and you, an agent of the Strategic Homeland Division, or simply referred to as the Division, have the task of rebuilding operations in Manhattan, investigating the nature of the outbreak and fighting criminal activity following the complete ruin of the city. Now, since its release in March 2016, the Division has undergone a lot of changes, and the game now has an impressive array of PvE and PvP content that will be suitable for both casual and hardcore players, a gear system that is unmatched in its level of customization, and a community of loyal fans who will do anything to make this game the best it possibly can be. Now, I've been covering the Division on my channel since day one and have nearly 2,000 hours of playing time, but still learn every single day of a new way to play the game. With all of this in mind, let's go over the content in the game right now and coming in the free 1.8 expansion. The Division has plenty of PvE content that will satisfy anyone's thirst for taking down NPCs in numerous levels of difficulty. Now, after you've completed the main story and leveled your character to enter World Tier 5, which is the highest tier in the game, you can then begin to increase the difficulty and compete in more rewarding PvE activities. Let's first talk about the Underground. The Underground is a PvE focused environment whereby you explore the networks of tunnels under Manhattan in what amounts to randomly generated dungeons. Players can adjust the difficulty by setting multiple modifiers in an underground operation, and completion will net the player greater rewards. In 1.8, we can expect a complete overhaul of the Underground with 5 new modifiers, new randomly generated dungeons, and the introduction of every player's most difficult enemy, the Hunters. These Hunters will randomly spawn in an underground operation when you least expect it, so be very careful as one melee will down you. Incursions are a type of mission that are exclusive to the end game and are considered the most difficult PvE content in the game, similar in difficulty to endgame raids in other games. Now, there are currently 4 different incursions in the game that each offer very different mechanics, gear and team composition in order to complete. Incursions can be completed at different difficulty levels for top level rewards and can also reward exclusive cosmetics. If you want to be challenged as a team or even solo, if you're brave enough, then incursions are at the highest difficulty and will certainly do this. Survival is exactly what the title suggests. You are stripped of all your gear and left to scavenge for food, water and warmth in a huge open world environment. Set during a snowstorm in Manhattan after your helicopter crashes and with an infection in your system called sepsis, which will kill you within the hour, you have to enter the dark zone, recover a set of antivirals and extract via the helicopter. Survival can be played for purely PvE or in a PvE/PvP environment. Up to 24 agents will have to scavenge for supplies, clothes and equipment whilst battling the cold, virus and roaming NPCs, and if you dare to play the PvP mode, other agents as well. A new upcoming PvE mode called Resistance will be added in Update 1.8 and is essentially a Horde type mode with endless waves of increasingly difficult NPCs, very much like the zombie game mode from Call of Duty. Now, Resistance takes centre stage in the new West Side Pier and for the first time pits you against all 4 factions in the game. It's you versus them all. There are still numerous PvE activities to mention, including HVT missions or high value target missions, weekly heroic missions and more, but we will move on to the PvE content the Division has to offer right now and in 1.8. The Dark Zone is a large region in Manhattan that has been quarantined from the rest of the already quarantined city. The Dark Zone is labelled as the most dangerous region in all of Manhattan and encompasses a combination of PvE and PvP content. You will be confronted with some of the hardest NPCs in the game, and if you take them down, you may be rewarded with some of the most exclusive gear or weapons in the game if you can extract those items. There is no environment in the game that offers a more nerve-wracking experience than calling an extraction and waiting for the helicopter to arrive so you can extract the hard-fought gear you have obtained. it's very likely another agent or rogue will want your gear you have and will do anything they can to interrupt your extraction by taking you down and looting your body. Do you take stand and defend the gear you have obtained, or do you run? The choice is not always yours. Last Stand is a 16-player PvP arena game mode with PvE elements that very much resembles game modes such as King of the Hill or Domination from other games. Each Last Stand map takes place in the Dark Zone and comprises of 3 nodes, with 3 sub-nodes which must all be controlled to capture the main node. Now, holding a node will generate points for the team, and the first team to meet their quota wins. Players can defeat other players to prevent them from capturing a node to obtain points, or they can roam the map and defeat NPCs. These NPCs will drop shade tech, which can be used to activate bonuses for a limited amount of time for their team, an example being double points. Skirmish is an upcoming PvP arena game mode that will take place on the new Westside Pier. Skirmish is a 4 vs 4 team deathmatch style mode that requires a score to be reached for a team to win. These matches take place in much smaller arenas compared to that of Last Stand, and may be considered the true test of someone's PvP skill within the Division. So it's pretty clear to see that the major content alone is pretty compelling, but we have barely scratched the surface on what the Division has to offer. In the free 1.8 update, you will also be given the following: the Optimization Station, a new station that allows you to optimize your gear's minor and major attributes for the highest stat roll. New exotic weapons, 4 new exotic weapons featuring the big Alejandro LMG and also the SMG The House. The new Westside Pier, a new map expansion on the left hand portion of Manhattan, and Rogue 2.0, a new rogue toggle button that will help rebalance the Dark Zone. It's clear to see that the Division has more content than anyone could ever want, and to think, I haven't even talked about the vast amount of various gear and weapons you can obtain. There is more gear and weapon customization in this game than any game I have ever played or seen someone play, which is great because you can play the game your way, and that's very important. To this day, I have not tried every combination of gear and weapons, or weapon talents, or high-end talents, or gear set talents, or classified gear set talents, or exotic talents, and the list, it is endless. If you're looking to sink hours and hours into a game and feel rewarded for the time you have spent, then the Division is for you. If you're looking for a game that can satisfy both your PvE and PvP first, even at the same time, then the Division is for you. Whether you are considering the Division for the first time or coming back, now is the perfect time to join the community. With all of that in mind, I really hope I've convinced every single person who was on the fence about getting the game to go and pick this up, either as a returning agent or a new agent. If you want to drop me a private message just to get a bit more of my opinion on this game, then please do not hesitate to do that, or leave a comment below. A like on the video would be much appreciated, and thanks for all your time, guys. Epic out.